Good day, it's Tony from the tech firm. I'm going to show you how to use Excel and take your trace files, your logs, whatever it happens to be, and make your own cool graphs with it. Enjoy. Good day, folks. It's Tony Fortunato from the technology firm. I'm going to show you how to take these packets and put them into Excel and create your own graph. So just a bunch of random packets I got here. If you take a look here at the bottom, it's 2,549 packets. And a lot of times you get I'm going to say an underappreciation of what it means until you see it visually. So here's an example of what people do, and I show people how to do this: statistics and IO graphs. And this is pretty cool. I'm just going to resize this down into the screen. I don't know why it just popped up so huge. Anyway, so you've got this graph that comes built into Wireshark, which is really helpful. And it allows you to see, for example, packets per second, and you can also graph using a display filter syntax, whatever you want. So in this case, this is packets per second. You can also change this to bits per second, and you get a really cool view of what the packets are doing. So in this case, we had a rise, and it went quiet, and another shot up, and da-da-da. Now, if you didn't know this, whatever you click on the chart, like this point, it jumps to that packet, which is kind of neat. Okay, of course, I've gotten off track here, but anyways, so there's your packets, there's your graph. We're going to do the same thing in Excel because a lot of times this might have limitations. You might want to add some more stuff. You might not like the fonts, so on and so on and so on. So I'm going to close that. File. Export packet dissections as CSV. And I'm just going to put that on my desktop here. And we're just going to call this test 1, 2, 3. Good enough. And there's two ways to do this. Obviously, I can go to Excel and import it if I want. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this file I just created, just double click on it because the CSV file association will automatically launch Excel. Again, I just have to resize this. For some reason, Excel did not remember its old position. There we go. And we have our chart. So this is what people do, and I try to show them this, and this is one of the first mistakes we make. The first mistake we make is the time syntax. So the time is not really helpful for a graph. So let's go back to Wireshark for just one moment. View, time display format. And what we want to do is change this to, for example, the time of day. That's a good one. You can even have the date and time of day if it, maybe goes over 2 days. But we're just going to do this. Even seconds since beginning of capture, even that's pretty good. But a lot of times you want the time. So there's the time right there. 11:02:33 and 492 milliseconds. We want it by second because usually your graphs are packets per second, errors per second, bits per second, that kind of thing. You could leave it here, but we don't want to do that. So view, time display format, and we want seconds. There you go. So 11:02:33, bang, done. Let's do it again. File, export packet dissection, CSV, and I'm just going to go to that test 1, 2, 3, overwrite that, done. Just going to minimize this guy, double click here, and now we've got our proper time. In this case, what I'm going to do is packets per second, but you can change this to whatever you want. As soon as I show you how to do this, you'll see it's fairly easy to change. So what we're going to do is data, and again, this is Excel. If you use OpenCalc, it's got a similar one as well. And we want a subtotal feature. And what we want to do is whenever there's a change in time, so change that to time, we want to count. It's going to count how many packets per second, right? You could also use sum, average, whatever you want. But in this case, we want count. Because we're counting, it doesn't matter what we count. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to leave it alone as info and click OK. Boom, done. You get 3 numbers here. 1 is your grand total. 2 is your subtotals. 3 is the raw data. So we're going to go to number 2. And you can see 11:02:24, 2, 4, so on and so on and so on and so on. So if I simply grab this, you could just make a graph, but you're going to make another mistake because at the very, very bottom, there's a grand total. So you don't want to do that. I think it's important to show you the mistakes that I see people make as well. So insert, and we'll just do a line graph. Good enough. And there you go. It looks a lot like that IO graph we have a moment ago, didn't it? The other cool thing is, as I showed you with the IO graph, when you click on something, it takes you to that packet. So what I want to do here is just right click. I'm going to move this chart and I'm going to put it in its own sheet. Just get it out of the way and go back to my data and watch this. I'm just going to, for example, if this 101 was something I was interested in, I'll hit the plus sign and there's all the packets. So I get this kind of superficial, I'm going to say similar functionality that I had in Wireshark. There you go, folks. Have fun. Bye for now.